Hi, thank you so much for your interest in our webinar recording. If you have any questions or concerns after the webinar today, please feel free to reach out to us and check the description box below for links to schedule a demo and learn more.
So I am really excited to be here with all of you today. Before I dive in, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself to create some context. So I am Chani Wolshansky. I'm first and foremost a mom of 4 little kids. I have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 10-year-old who's turning 11. Tomorrow is his birthday. Tomorrow night, actually. Friday is his birthday. I'm mixing up my days already. So he will be 11 on Friday, which is really exciting. So first and foremost, I'm a mom. And secondly, I'm the CEO and founder of Schools of Excellence, which is a coaching and training company. We're a global training and coaching company. And we work with school leaders, specifically the directors and owners, to help them build the skills that they need to sustain quality of excellence within their organization. So their people, their parents, their infrastructure, their systems, their operations. So for me, one of my greatest passions is really working with leaders on the relationship side of their centers. So that's teachers and parents. That's where my specialty sits, along with the fabric of what brings everything together, which is culture. So today's training is really going to be about understanding the 4 different parent archetypes that you are consistently communicating to, whether that's through email, through face-to-face interaction, through a phone interaction, through a drop-off, whatever it is, you're constantly interacting with these people, or whether through it's a prospect or a tour or a referral, whatever it is, you're constantly in communication with families. Now, before we dive into content, I actually want us to get into the right mindset. So I want you to take a second to just put your hand on your heart and just breathe out. Just take a big, deep breath out first, just breathing out all the stress of the day, all the anxiety, all the emails that you didn't want to respond to, all the difficult conversations that you wish you didn't need to have. Breathe them all out. And I want you to breathe in an openness to learn, to be curious, and to learn strategies to help you to continue to elevate your leadership. That's what this time is for. This is your time. This is time where someone's pouring into you. This is time where nobody's asking you, hey, help me put out this fire. Nobody's sucking from you, taking energy from you, asking you to make decisions, asking you to make really critical, impossible decisions. This hour is yours to be poured into so you can leave with a full bucket. And that is my intent and my intention of our training today, that you leave full, that you leave rejuvenated, and you leave with strategies that you feel like, yes, this is really going to help my center. So that's my promise to you. Let me know in the comments that you're here and you're excited about this and you have breathed out all your stress of the day as much as you can, and you've breathed in life, vitality, curiosity, just all those things that we sometimes don't tap into because we're running through the minutia of the day and putting out fires. Training and learning something new, we need to sit in a clean, open space. And if our minds are cluttered and our minds are worried and we're worried about this and that, it's hard for us to accept what we want to hear. So I'd love to hear from all of you guys in the comments. If you're like, yes, I'm in, I'm ready, let's do this. So again, this is a very different kind of webinar. I'm super engaged. I like to ask lots and lots of questions. That's the best way that we learn. We learn through hands-on. So I'm gonna ask you guys lots of stuff, feedback back and forth. I have my original presentation that I planned, but I'm always ready for whatever's coming. I love this. I love this. I'm in my presence. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, send all that beautiful energy and sit in super high vibration now for yourself. So as parents, okay, for those of you that are on here that are parents, I myself as a parent, one of the greatest skills that we can learn as a parent is our own emotional regulation and mental resilience. I'm going to say that again. Some of the greatest skills that you can learn as a parent is to learn how to emotionally regulate yourself and to be mentally resilient and strong. Right now, And we've always kind of been in this evolution, but more than ever, we're in a landscape where education and the world of education is constantly evolving and changing and growing and shifting gears again. And there's always these kind of jolts. And sometimes we feel like we foot on our gas and then the other foot on the brakes. And it's sometimes nauseating, right? When parents are looking for a childcare, for a preschool, for a place for their child, underneath all the flair and the blare, right? Underneath all like, oh, this school has, farm to table, and this school is nature-based, and this school is Reggio, and this school is Montessori, and this school is, has long hours, and this school has UPK, and this school has a Head Start program, and all the paraphernalia. Underneath it all, as parents, we're looking for partners, link arms with me, and help me raise my child to be a great adult. It's not just we want to raise great kids. We want to raise kids who become resilient, confident adults. Because part of life is understanding how to navigate uncertainty, how to sit in ambiguity, how to be comfortable within chaos. This isn't something new. Chaos, ambiguity, uncertainty is part of our culture for decades, for millennia. It's manifested itself through the COVID crisis, but we've always had uncertainty. We've always had different realms of chaos. We've seen hard times before. And the resilience is underneath what the parents are really looking for. Are you going to be a good role model for my child? Are you going to be someone that shows my child what they're capable of? And again, this isn't something that's necessarily marketed to parents on your website or in your messaging. But when you can become emotionally literate, right, where you have the words and you can articulate this to parents on a tour, in a conversation, in a phone call, you're speaking to the need beneath the need. And that is what parents are looking for, especially in this world, okay? It's volatile times. There's no security in anything. There's no 100% certainty in anything. And sometimes we try to sell certainty to get the sale, but you're selling falsehood and lies, right? What we really want to be communicating is not every problem has a solution. Not every single thing is going to go your way. You're not always going to be comfortable. You're not always going to get what you want. And I'm going to teach you how to regulate your emotions and your response in those moments. So I want to share this with you because I feel like so many times we go to webinars, we listen to podcasts, all of that kind of stuff, and we hear the tips and the tricks and the tactics. And I know you guys came for that, and I'm going to share that with you, I promise. But I also think it's my responsibility as part of being a coach and a trainer to let you guys also understand the context and understand the bigger framework that sits within what do parents want for their children? What are they seeking? And what do we have a responsibility as school leaders to embed within our culture, within the language of our culture, within the way that we communicate and train our team to do tours, to close, to do whatever it is that your team is doing, right? How do we train them? Every single person on this call, whether you're live or watching the replay, has dealt with failure, with rejection, with loss, with grief, with, sudden, a sudden, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this. And it's not a one-time thing. It's not like, oh, okay, I dealt with that. Hey, I paid the price, paid the toll, no more unexpected things for me. I did it for the day. I have a great story to tell you guys. So I was talking with an owner a couple weeks ago, and she's like, I'm really struggling with this one parent. Like every time they come to me, they're like, this is really unfair. Like yesterday there was a change over here, and the other day there was a change here. Like, our class has already had enough changes. No more changes for our class. So either raise your hand or let me know in the comments if you have had parents say things like that to you. Like, you know, I'm done with the changes, no more. Like, stop throwing new things my way, or whatever it is, whether that's been in an email, in a by chance interaction, a phone call, maybe they've said that to your teachers, whatever it is. Who's kind of heard that a little bit from parents? Many times, yeah. So, yeah, right? They're really overwhelmed and they think, and again, I know a lot of us are guilty of this. We think that if things stop changing, we'll be less overwhelmed. We have a belief, if things stop changing, right? Not so much the parents, the teachers, right? If things stop changing, if things were different, if you didn't change the rules, if you didn't change your policy, if your COVID regulations were different, if your policies around X, Y, and Z was different, you know, I wouldn't be so overwhelmed, right? It's your fault that I'm overwhelmed. It's your responsibility that I'm feeling frustrated, anxious, and this and that, and all the things. When really it's none of that. Changes are part of the fabric of all relationships. Relationships change, dynamics change, rules change. Values stay at the core of everything, which is a totally separate conversation. I got married when I was 21 years old. I'm a lot older now. Our relationship has evolved over the last over a decade. It'd be really, really immature for me to say, oh, the rules we set when we were 21 and 22, when we were little babies, I mean, those are the rules for the rest of our marriage, because that's what we set when we were 21 and no changes, right? I know a lot of you guys are laughing right now, and some of you may be a lot older than me. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. There needs to be flexibility and nuance when you're creating structure and rules and standards and guidelines and all of those things. It traps people when they think things aren't supposed to change. Yes, you need to follow the guidelines. And so it's not coming from a place of, I can't help it. It's, this is the climate of the world. Things are constantly changing. Let me sit with you with that, right? And this goes for parents, this goes for teachers. I can't promise you that there's not going to be changes tomorrow. I can't tell you that. I cannot promise you that tomorrow there isn't going to be a staffing conflict. What I am going to offer you are skills of how to sit in the discomfort, how to be okay with it, and know that you're going to be okay. You're really going to be okay. And that's the hard part, right? That's the struggle. So let's go into the 4 different types of parent archetypes and how they kind of show up into these conversations, these dialogues, all these different things. So, and I also created a 1-page PDF that I told Sierra we were going to send you guys in the follow-up email probably on Friday or Monday or something like that. So stay tuned for that also. So the first archetype that I want to talk about today is the caregiver. So there's 4 archetypes. There's the caregiver, there's the gatekeeper, there's the explorer, and the tornado, okay? So the caregiver is the parent who's very overly protective, okay? They read every word in every email you send. They question every single thing. They have a lot of insecurities about their own parenting. They also come with a lot of guilt. So they'll enter a conversation and be like, oh, I feel so bad. I have to go to work. Oh God, I got to drop off my baby. Like they have all this guilt around decisions that they've made as a parent. And they're very protective. And so when you're communicating with this type of parent who's showing signs of the caregiver, they need a lot of reassurance that they're doing a great job. They're doing the best that they can. And they are doing everything in their power to give their child the best chances. And when we know better, we do better. So what you know now is great, and you're doing great. Many times when you're in conversation with a parent on a tour or something like that, like, oh, I don't know if it's the right time. I don't know if it's the right thing. What, all the things, right? And really it's just, they're a caregiver parent and they're really insecure about dropping the kid off, not because they don't trust you. They don't trust themselves. They live with too much guilt. And so this type of parent, when you're communicating with them, they need reassurance from you that they're doing a good job. Here's where a lot of people miss this. You think you need to give reassurance that, don't worry, we got this. We're going to take care of you. I have the best teachers. Everything's going to be okay. That's not what they're worried about. They trust you. They do not trust themselves. So in conversation, you need to have a different conversation because the person's having a different conversation. They're having a conversation in their mind. I don't trust myself. I'm guilty. All the things in their insecurities in their head. And then you're telling them, don't worry about all the insecurities in your head. We're going to take care of you over here. They were never worried about that. You need to help them trust themselves. You're doing a great job. You're making a great choice by giving your child this experience. I know you're worried about going back to work. A lot of moms have that guilt. It's normal. Don't tell her, it's okay, your child's going to be fine. It's normal. Mom guilt is normal, right? What do we want more than anything? We want to know that we're normal and not crazy, right? That is why we come into community. We want a sense of belonging, like, oh, I'm not alone, right? Even just being on this webinar, oh, I'm not alone. Other people are also struggling with this. Right? It gives a sense of relief and acceptance. So when you're communicating to that caregiver parent, it's letting them know, it's okay. Mom guilt is normal. It's okay. You'll get through it. We're here for you. So let me pause there for a second. I want to hear in the comments section from you guys, or if anyone has a question around how to really communicate this within a very natural way with parents in conversation, right? Because what's important to remember is this is a skill to identify which parent you're talking to, right? Like I have a lot of training in this. I created these archetypes. This is, Schools of Excellence, Intellectual Property. And I also do a lot of studying on archetypes. So when I'm in conversation with people, it's a lot easier for me to pick up like, okay, she's showing these signs. That means it means this. Let me try to respond this way. That's skill. That is not a gift. That is skill that comes with training and practice. And you need to believe that you have what it takes to learn this skill and not tell yourself a lie. Oh, I wasn't born this way, so I don't know how to do this. Garbage. It's a skill. I also wasn't born knowing how to talk. I also was born not knowing how to use the toilet. Mom did a great job teaching me how to use the bathroom. Now I know how to do it. Nobody is born knowing how to do anything. We learn through a lot of failure and a lot of trial and stand back up again. So again, part of this training is also feeding your mindset, fueling you. I'm not just giving you tactics. I want to teach your mind how to think for yourself, how to trust your gut, your decision-making, how to be confident in how you show up. That is a skill. It is not a gift for the elitist. Everyone can get more confident. Every single person on this call can become more confident and trust their decision-making. Every single one of you. All right, any questions here on the caregiver before I move on? Nope, okay. So let's go to the gatekeeper, okay? The gatekeeper is the class parent. Everybody loves them. They're the jokester. All the parents kind of value what they have to say. They have a lot of power in the classroom, okay? When they say something, all the little ducklings follow them, okay? And what's important to remember about the gatekeepers is they're exactly that. They hold the keys to a lot of other conversation. So when you identify a gatekeeper, remember, they are going to be the key for referrals. So I'm not saying identify them as, oh, there's my cha-ching parent, there's the person who's going to give me all the referrals. No, recognize they're the gatekeeper and make sure that you're really fostering a really deep relationship with this person, because whether you like it or not, their opinion carries weight in your school. And so I've seen a lot of times leaders like resist this and are like, no, like I treat everyone the same. Really? I have 4 kids. I do not treat all my kids the same. I give every single person what they need. Fair is giving every person what they need. My 3-year-old needs something very different than my 11-year-old. My 6-year-old girl needs something completely different than my 9-year-old girl. Fair is treating everyone and giving every single person what they need, right? It's like the equivalent of the teacher saying, well, I can't give Max a chair because then everyone's going to want to sit on chairs. Everyone doesn't need a chair. Max needs a chair. You don't need to treat everyone the same. No, you don't. You need to give every person what they need. The gatekeeper needs this fuel of a relationship from you. And so you might need to pour more energy into this parent because it's a huge gatekeeper for your business and for the growth of your brand and everything. It's not about selling your soul. It's about connecting and making deep, meaningful relationships with the right people, right? The caregiver, yes, they need reassurance, but they don't need this like chummy kind of relationship kind of thing. They don't need that. Don't give it to them. It's not what they need. It's not how you build connection with that person. Okay, I need to pause and I need to hear from you guys what's going on. Let me know your thoughts so far. There's over 60 of you guys live. I want to see 20 comments here. What are you hearing? What are you processing? What are you taking away so far? Let me hear from you guys in the comments. I want to hear from all of you guys. So I'm going to wait. I want to hear from you guys. What are the telltale signs of the gatekeeper? Oh, you could see a gatekeeper from a mile away. They are usually always smiling. They are very smooth talkers. They have natural charisma. When they come inside, they like make as if they know what they're talking about. They know how to get around the building. When they come into the building, most people already know them already by face. Like they kind of have this social standing within the community, unless they're a completely new person. They just moved to town. So you kind of can sense that piece from the gatekeeper. How do you nurture gatekeepers? Okay. So again, Sierra, we're going to answer all these questions at the end. Right now, I want to hear kind of what are people processing so far. Reminding myself to have mental check before interacting with parents so I can meet their needs. Yes, 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 right? You're checking your emotions, your own mindset, your whatever it is before you engage in conversation, right? I love that. I've never looked in depth as to separating each person's needs. Yes, Tiffany, amazing. Thank you for sharing this. Amazing. Okay, thank you for saying that fair does not equal, yeah. Oh my gosh, guys, if that's what you take away from today's training, I have freed your life. Do not try to treat every teacher the same. Please, for the love of God, every single teacher needs something different from you. Every kid in the classroom needs something different from the teacher. Every parent needs different things from you. There is no one size fits all, ever, in any relationship, ever. What worked yesterday to help my 3-year-old get into bed doesn't work today. Surprise, shocking. He's 3. Oh, he changed his mind. He doesn't like that strategy. Now he wants to go crazy and put his underwear on his head and dance the hokey pokey. Deal with it, mom, right? So I'm the grown-up. I need to show up. I need to have better strategies, okay? Fear means you get what you need, not the same. Yes, yes. Love the breakdown. Every family needs something different. It's so true. We do this without even realizing. Yes. Okay. You identify as a gatekeeper parent, right? So here's something. I'm so glad you brought this up. So here's something that's important to recognize. We all have a little bit of each archetype inside of ourselves. And I'm going to finish explaining the other two. We have seasons many times where different archetypes might be more dominant. Okay. So for example, typically I'm the gatekeeper parent, right? I know all the moms in the school, like I'm typically the gatekeeper parent. However, I have seasons where I'm really not the gatekeeper, where I actually don't know anyone or anything that's going on. So for example, I just moved from New York to Florida in August and I came to a new school, which means I am not the gatekeeper. I'm the new person. I don't know anyone here. And really what I was showing up as is the tornado, which I'm going to explain to you right now. That's the third archetype. So the third archetype is the tornado is exactly as it sounds. They care deeply about their kids. They have lots of good ideas, but they are overcommitted, underperforming, and overwhelmed. And their kids almost never have what they need. Who identifies with the tornado? overwhelmed, underperforming, overcommitted. Their kids never have their permission slip. They forgot to bring the water bottle. They didn't bring the $5. They forgot to send the blanket back when you sent it home. They didn't remember that there was dress up day. They forgot to send the bathing suit. The towel was missing. Oh, the joys. Just give me a laughing emoji in the comments if you're like, yes, I have been a tornado parent once. And yes, identify all the tornadoes in my school. Susan says, I picture them. There we go, Jerome. Thanks for the emojis. Appreciate the love. All right, there we go. So we're going to have seasons where we're the tornado, right? So I remember the third week of school, I was supposed to send a water bottle or something for my child. And the teacher picks me up at pickup, sees me at pickup, and she's like, you forgot to send the water bottle, whatever, all the things. And so I got on the phone with her later that night, and I was like, listen, I will be your best parent very, very soon. Let me explain to you what's going on in my life. I just moved 3 weeks ago from New York, bought a brand new house. I still don't know where all my kids' underwear is. I'm still buying toothpaste. We're out of toilet paper. I just moved. I am a tornado. I am a complete mess. Please do not expect me to remember to bring anything. If there is anything of critical importance for my child, please text me in the morning, because that is when I will see it. And I ask you to please bear with me. This will be 2 or 3 months, and I will be your best parent. But right now, I will forget everything. It doesn't matter how many reminders you give me. This is not on the top of my list. I am trying to get the lights on in my house. I'm trying to get the washing machine working. And for crying out loud, the Wi-Fi still ain't working in this house. So no, remembering the water bottle ain't sitting on the top of the priority list. I love you. I know you care so much about my kid, but I'm going to forget everything for the next 3 months. Hang tight with me. And she was laughing so hard. Like, we just had the best conversation. She's like, I so appreciate you communicating with me. I'm not going to bother you. Like, we're just going to figure it out here. And guess what? By the time December rolled around, I was like, I'm here. I'm back. How can I help? What can I do for the school? We have seasons. Now, not every parent is going to communicate like I did, okay? I teach schools. I work with parents. So I recognize my weaknesses where I'm like, hey, I'm going to forget everything. Like, don't even try to remind me. I'm forgetting everything. There is nothing that you're going to send me that is going to sit on this priority list as long as I don't have these basic needs met in my household, right? So they're frustrating. Yes, I was a frustrating parent for 3 months right after I moved. I know this for sure. I bet the teachers were cursing me out behind the scenes. Like, why can't she just send this stupid paper back? Guys, people have lives that you will never know the depth of their struggle, of their overwhelm, of their anxiety, of depression, of mental health struggle, of all the things that you never see. And so when a parent is showing up as the tornado, what they need is not reminders. What they need is compassion. What they need is support. What they need is, how can I help you during this season? That is what they need, not another reminder. The other reminder is, I'm a failure again. Again, I forgot. I'm a failure again. Again, I forgot. These people love their kids. We all have seasons. Now, I knew when the season was going to be over. I was like, this is 90 days, guys. Give me 90 days to set up. Some people, this season is 10 years, 5 years, a year. We don't know. So let me know in the comments what you're hearing from me. And if this can help you show up with more compassion and more understanding for the parent who's forgetting the permission slip, that's the ripple effect of building and creating a school of excellence. And my time here is worth it for you to do that and for you to show up with that ripple effect of kindness. That's what we need more of in the world, right? Not more reminders. People don't need more reminders. They need compassion. They need forgiveness. They need acceptance. Susan, it reminds me of how important it is to get to know the parents. Yes. Oh, yes, 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 right? Like, I told the teacher what I was going through. I was like, we just moved. Like, seriously, my kids are sleeping on the floor in mattresses. Our beds have not come yet. Like, remembering a water bottle is just not on my list. Like, I love you, but no, like, no and no, I'm not remembering that. Just bringing it to awareness is helpful. Yes, Minnie, now that this is in your mind, and continue to come back to this training. Yes, you were a tornado parent a few months ago. Thank you for sharing that, right? Like, let's normalize that we all go through different seasons. It's amazing. I didn't really look at it that way. It really makes sense. I understand how priorities are different for everyone. Oh, yes. Priorities change as you navigate different seasons, right? It is challenging. I must remember their lives outside of school. Yes, Suzanne, people don't only live in the context of your school. I know you do, right? As school leaders, we live within the context of our own little bubble of school, but people have lives. People have husbands, people have elderly parents, people have kids, people have teenagers, people have older kids that live outside of the house. Oh my gosh, people have like every single thing going on in their life, right? The school is not the only thing. Is it possible to, oh, absolutely. Yes, maybe a tornado on a Monday. For sure, right? You had a hard weekend, right? I'm a tornado on some Mondays. Like, my parents come every once in a while. On Monday, I'm cuckoo. I'm cleaning up from the weekend. It's a little crazy here. I've had 15 people, for Saturday night or whatever it is. Yeah, Monday morning, maybe I'm not going to be in the, tip-top shape. And that's okay. And that's okay. Brings light to darkness. I feel set free. Oh, Tanya. Hearts. I love that. Do not deny the process. The resolution is at the end. Yes, I'm a tornado parent. So we should not make we shouldn't make assumptions or judgment about parents. Communication is communication about what seems insignificant is worthless. Yes, yes, right? For me, the water bottle was the most insignificant thing in my life at that week. Like, I needed to sit with my son who couldn't stop crying because he missed his friends. And I needed to figure out how to get him to go to school in the morning because he was so afraid and didn't want to go. That sat up here. I have an 11-year-old who's crying. I need to talk to him. I need to be with him. I need to sit with him, right? Like, this is what, awareness, people have lives at home. There are things going on that you will never know about. And some parents will be brave and come forward and tell you, this is what's going on in my life. And some people will never tell you because they're ashamed. But they always have symptoms. The symptoms are overwhelmed, underperformance, overcommitment, forgetting everything, right? This is why educating yourself on this is so powerful. Yes, communication is always hard. During COVID, it's been exacerbated, yes, but communication has always been a challenge. It's always been a challenge. Okay, so that's a tornado. Let me go into the last one here, which is the explorer. Okay, so the explorer, they jump into new projects. They have creative ideas. They love to participate. They like to join class trips when that starts again. But the explorer also has very high expectations. They want to see new things in the classroom a lot, right? They want to see new stuff. So when you're on a tour, let's say with a parent, they're the person who's going to be like, so do you have an outdoor classroom? Do you guys do this? Do you have this? They're going to be asking you about all the new and progressive things. Are you doing this with the kids? Are you teaching them? Are you meditating with the 2-year-olds? Are you doing this? Those are going to be their questions. Boom, that's the explorer for you. Okay, that's the explorer. And so what they need is really just listening to all their ideas. Oh, that's such a great question that you're asking about, a nature-based classroom. Tell me what you know about nature and its, relevance to child development. Let them talk. They want to be perceived as smart, as intelligent, as wise. Listen. The floor is yours. Super powerful strategy. Okay. There's been a lot of mindset shifts here in the comments so far. And I want to take a moment to kind of recognize that and I want you guys to recognize that. I want to close that feedback loop for you. Some of you guys have had awareness around fair means giving everyone what they need, not equal. Others of you have shared of, wow, like there's other lives going on at home. People have other things that are happening. Recognizing that there's different ways to communicate with families. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. With this new awareness, with this new mindset, right? Tanya said it sets me free. What does this give you permission to do or not do starting tomorrow? So I'm going to say that again. With this new knowledge, with this new mindset, what does this give you permission to do or not to do when you go into school tomorrow? Let me know in the comments. And this has been such a great group. Love, love, love the engagement here in the comments. Brittany is giving herself permission to be more understanding. Megan, permission to have a new perspective. Claire, offer different ways of communicating and how to help. Christina, permission to be humans and not robots. Oh, Christina, thank you. You are not a machine. You are not a human giving machine. You are not a robot. You're a human, right? Who has needs, who has wants, who has desires, who has other stressors. Like, I love that you're recognizing your humanity, right? We don't get to push a button and now Christina shows up. I love this. Thank you. Listen more. We don't know everyone's story. Be more prepared and ready to help. Thank you. Carolina gives me permission to question myself and accept each style of a parent. Yes. How to identify and comfort with parents who have challenging children or disabilities. Yes. Oh, Minnie, there's no solution to that, right? Like a child who has a disability or challenging behavior and it hasn't changed. You're not there to change the disability or change the behavior. You're there to continue to equip the parent of how to sit in the ambiguity of it, how to sit in the discomfort. Not every problem has a solution. Such a big part of Western philosophy is all about, there's a problem, I gotta fix it, right? There's a hole, let me close it. And sometimes it's just about managing the ambiguity. It's about managing the chaos. It isn't supposed to be calm now. Whoever said that transitioning 18 two-year-olds from the outside to the inside is supposed to look like a fairy tale? They're 18 two-year-olds. It's not supposed to be a fairy tale. It's okay if there is a little bit of pushing. It's okay if there's a little bit of crying. It's okay if there's a little bit of loud voices. It's okay if not everyone's standing in a straight, perfect line. They're not the Rockettes. They're two, right? It's learning how to manage that. Whoever said that transitioning is supposed to be easy? Whoever said that putting 19 infants to bed is supposed to happen without anyone crying? You're in the infant room. Hi, there's going to be crying here. You don't like it, don't be in here. I always tell it to my mom. She comes sometimes during bedtime. She's like, honey, it's so crazy. You're like, why is he jumping over here? And why is he jumping over here? I'm like, Mom, here's a delicious hot cup of tea. Please go sit in the poolside. I will call you when everyone's sleeping. Okay, bedtime, in case, let me refresh your memory from 30 years ago, was a 7-ring circus in our house. So it's also a circus here. I love you. Sit outside. I'll call you when it's quiet. It's not supposed to be quiet during bedtime. It's not. And some of you guys are watching in horror like, oh my gosh, yes, it's okay. It's okay. Normalize it. Gives me permission to have an open mind to others. It limits my unintended judgments. Love it. Gives me permission to create a higher and greater expectation and outcome. I feel enlightened. I love this. Not every problem has a solution. Yes. Yes. Could you imagine how freeing that is when a problem is presented to you and you're like, maybe this doesn't have a solution. Not to judge, to listen, have compassion. In our job, sometimes we rush. Oh, yes. Oh, we are on a treadmill. I mean, you guys can run a marathon without training, like you just jump in, start running, right? You need to take time, pause, right? Your ability to show up in these conversations is directly tied to your ability to emotionally regulate yourself. Yes, Mary, I'm so happy. I don't have to fix everything. Yes. Oh, Marcia, I love this one. Yes, God did not call the equipped to teach. He equips the called. We'll teach these concepts and discuss them with staff to determine their skill level. Oh, amazing, Minnie, amazing. So you're going to love the PDF that I'm going to share later this week. This is amazing. I have so much more of an understanding and compassion for all parents. So helpful. I feel more confident. I'm going to communicate. Yes, gives me permission to not be perfect. Oh, Suzanne, I was waiting for someone to say that. Guys, nobody's perfect. I make mistakes all the time. I mess up. I say the wrong thing. But here's something to write for yourself, whether that's on a sticky note, whether that's on your desk, whether it's something you hang up on the wall. Excellence is about choosing to show up better than you did 5 minutes ago. Excellence is about choosing to show up better than you did 5 minutes ago. I say this all the time to teachers when I do trainings for staff or when I coach directors in our programs. They're like, oh, the teacher did X, Y, and Z. You know, I really should have done, I really should have responded this way. I'm like, here's a little secret. Guess what? Tomorrow, she's going to do it again. And tomorrow, you're going to have a chance to show up the way that you want. Anyone have little kids? Right? Sometimes they do something and you're like, oh, I wish I didn't lose my shit on them. Guess what? They're doing it again in 5 minutes. And now you'll have a chance to show up like the parent you want to be. Kids give us lots of chances. Lots and lots and lots and lots of chances. They give us lots of chances to show up better. You can choose in each moment how you want to show up. This training, this knowledge, which is so powerful for you, is not meant as another perfectionist straitjacket for you to wear. Of like, okay, now I need to make sure, are they the caregiver? Are they the tornado? Are they the, no. This knowledge is here for you to recognize that with this knowledge, sometimes I'm going to remember it and I'm going to show up really well. And sometimes I'm going to forget because I'm human and I'm a work in progress, and that's okay. And I will forgive myself and I will show up better next time. When we forgive ourselves, we create a culture where people want to be there. They want to show up. And these are the types of things that you want to be marketing and talking to parents about. I don't know all of your different marketing engines and all these different things that you guys use, but talking about forgiveness, talking about acceptance, talking about resilience, like let the parents see the humanity in you. I make mistakes a lot. Spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes are my kryptonite. Like my team scrutinizes my work like crazy before it goes out. And still, it goes out with spelling mistakes. And when I do posts without my team scrutinizing it, my husband wants to bury his head in the sand. He's like, honey, please don't post it. There's mistakes. I'm like, I don't care. It's okay. Sometimes there are going to be mistakes. Sometimes there's not going to be. I'm human. I am not a computer machine. So what's so important to remember is like, and for some people, they're like, no, I can never do that. That's okay. That's okay for you if you can't, right? There's other things that I would never put out unless it was a certain way, right? But what's important to remember is, are we obsessing over perfectionism? Do we not call the parent back because we're afraid of something? Do we not follow up with the prospect because we're like, oh, am I going to say the wrong thing? Yeah, you might. And for all the sports fans and enthusiasts on here, Wayne Gretzky has a great quote, which I love. You will always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You will always miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Here's what so many of us are trying to do. We have a scoreboard of life. And this is the side of mistakes, and this is the side of winning. And we want to have 0 to 100. We want to have 0 mistakes and 100 shots. Guess what? When you have less mistakes over here, you also have less winning shots. It doesn't work like that. I want to have 100 mistakes, 1,000 wins. But you got to have the mistakes here. That's the only way you learn. So when you go into the conversation with the tornado parent, you're not going to get it right the first time. That's okay. Do it again next time. When you go into conversation with the caregiver, sometimes you're going to say something that you think is reassuring, but it actually heightens their anxiety. Don't give up. Continue going. Sometimes you're going to have a conversation with the explorer or the gatekeeper, and you'll be like, oh, well, me and my big mouth. Yeah. Release the stressors, release, let go, and go for it again. Go for it again. Because that's what you signed up for. You didn't sign up for easy. When you think about your career and working with parents and working with teachers, whether you're new or whether you're a veteran or whatever it is, here's something I want to tell you that's truth. It doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier. Here's what does happen. You get stronger and wiser. Many times in relationships, your husband never changed. He's still doing the same things he did 20 years ago, but they don't bother you anymore. Not because you don't let it bother, you're wiser and stronger now. I tell this to teachers all the time. It doesn't get easier to change 19 diapers. You just get wiser and you have a different perspective. You regulate your emotions differently. You get stronger. When I do gratitude in my journal, when I have prayer every day, I pray to be stronger and wiser. Don't give me an easier life. Easy's boring. Make me strong. Help me be resilient. Help me be wise. Help me be someone that can communicate with emotional intelligence. Help me not be a coward in difficult conversations and be brave and courageous. I don't want an easy life. All these things are what I love. I love difficult conversations. I love the challenge. And help me be strong and brave so I can live a truly beautiful, rich life within my school, within my center, within my personal life and my relationships. So I want to open up the floor now, Sierra, for Q&A. I know I answered a lot of questions. Yes, we learn from our interactions. We're wiser, we're stronger. So I want to give some time now just to answer some hot seats.
Yeah. We do have one question that came in earlier,
Sure.
and that was how to identify a gatekeeper.
Sure. So the gatekeeper, again, usually has a natural charisma. So they're usually the person who, and it could be the mother or the father. It's not about gender or anything like that. They're the person that has natural charisma. They're the person who's going to ask a lot of questions around who else is in the class, or how old are all the other kids, or sometimes I've heard questions like, so what are some of the professions of some of the other families? Like status is really important to this person. So it's important for them to be in a class where there's like people that they feel like they can level with. So status plays a very big role here. And just a little tip, do not undermine how important parents find status. Okay, status has always been a huge driver for decision-making, right? Think of the CEOs, think of celebrities, think of status is huge for parents. So the gatekeeper, their social standing in the school, super, super important. I don't care how vain you think it is, it exists.
And we received a question regarding how to nurture a caregiver archetype.
Sure. So let's go back to the caregiver, right? So the caregiver is the person who's very protective, right? They question a lot of things. They have a lot of insecurities. And so your question was how to provide reassurance, Sierra? Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
It was how to nurture a caregiver.
Nurture them. Okay. So the caregiver, it's not so much that they need nurturing. It's more of like the reassuring conversations that you have with them. So this is something that I teach in our owners only and our directors in our circle programs around feeding the parent's emotional bank account. So if you have a caregiver parent in a specific classroom, okay, you're going to want to let the teachers know, here's how to fill this parent's bank account. They need reassurance that their kid is doing amazing in the classroom. So they might need extra pictures, okay? Whatever you use as your form of communication with pictures, whether you use Kangaroo Time or Hi Mama or whatever, all the apps that there are out there, right? They're gonna need lots of pictures. And sometimes I've just sent text messages through the apps. When I was a teacher, the apps didn't exist. I'm not that old, but they didn't exist when I was a teacher. So I would just send good old fashioned emails and just let the parents know. So just, it's staying in communication, feeding them, expecting nothing in return. Give them good news. Don't expect to hear a thank you. When you're giving, and in order to receive, smells like stinking garbage. Don't do it. Give, because the act of giving is the reward. Great questions. I have so enjoyed this training. So while some more questions come in, as we kind of wrap up here, I want to hear, I know a lot of you guys shared like your new insight, your new thing. I want to hear from you guys again for you to solidify for yourself of like, okay, these are my next steps. And I also want to let you guys know, if we could put this in the comments, Sierra, I am doing a special training, special 4-day workshop called the Build to Last Workshop. It's a 4-part series where I'm going to be walking you through the 4 sustainable pillars for school leadership, which are time, mindset, culture, and conflict. So if you enjoyed today's training and you want to learn more about school leadership, you want to learn more about how to be a leader, I'm doing a special training on that as well. And that is chani.me/ChildcareCRM. You could register there for free. You can sign up. We just opened registration. So would love to continue the conversation with all of you guys. So again, while we continue to do that, I want to share something interesting that I had a conversation with an owner where she was like, she's like, a parent calls me and I kind of lose the lead, or, my teacher had a conversation or my admin had a conversation. And then, we didn't follow up right away or whatever it is. And one of the things I always say, and this is why I love Sierra and ChildcareCRM, is understanding that certain things need a system, whether that's through automation or just through its system in itself, to understand how to actually track your leads, right? So I spoke to you guys a lot about just communicating with parents and all of that. You also need to have the infrastructure to be able to track that, right? And that's why you guys are here. CRM has an amazing system. A lot of our clients use it, and that's why I'm so happy to connect with them. So definitely check out their stuff if you don't have anything on that right now. Yes, let's, Sierra, let's put that, do you want to put that inside there, or should I?
Yes, is that just your email?
So it's not my email, it's chani.me/ChildcareCRM. It's a website, it's a web page. If you click on that and you go there, you will see the training that you can go to. Let me just make sure, believe that is the correct link. So childcare, we made a special link for you guys. Yes, there it is. Perfect. Awesome. Repeat the email. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's not an email. It's a web page. Okay.
And we have one question.
Sure.
And can some tornado parents be aggressive tornado parents?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So if you think about the ripple effect of the emotions of overwhelm, underperformance, and overcommitment, that can manifest itself as anger, blame, victimhood, bullying, deflection, all of those things. Okay. So, because again, every side has a bright side and a shadow side. So the bright side of it is when there's awareness. So let's say in the context of my example, where there was awareness, I was like, okay, here's the deal, right? Like, I'm not going to remember anything, right? And so I communicated that. But then you'll have certain people that they're not even aware that they're forgetting the water bottle, or whatever it is, right? And so because they're so overwhelmed, they want to deflect their frustration and overwhelm on other people. So that's where bullying, playing the victim card, deflection, all of those things come into play. So absolutely, they could start being aggressive. What you want to remember as a leader is that is a symptom, and here's how to respond, right? So it's like, listen, I understand that you're really frustrated right now, and things are probably super heated, and everyone has a story of what's going on at home. And I respect the struggle of what it is to be a parent during this season. I want to let you know I'm on your team. I am here to help. I am not the enemy. I am here to help. I want to help you. And I know it's scary to ask for help, and I know it's hard, but I promise you I'm here. My team, myself, we're here. We are a team. I care about your child. And so many times when I've said that to a parent, the other parent just starts crying. Like, it's just like this final like unleashing of like, I can't carry this burden anymore. And I'm like, you never had to. You're not supposed to carry burdens on your own. Humans are not supposed to live in isolation. We're supposed to be here for each other. Hopefully that's helpful. Let me know in the comments if that was helpful for you. Amazing, amazing. Okay. Well, I really just want to thank every single one of you for investing in yourself, for showing up for you. And I hope you feel rejuvenated. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you feel like your bucket's full. I hope that you sign up for this additional training and continue to follow us. We do have a podcast as well. ChildcareCRM will be on our podcast. Also, I'm going to be joining their podcast. We have the Schools of Excellence podcast. So you could definitely go check that out with other content as well. And Ciara, thank you so much for inviting me, for letting me be on here, for letting me share my passions. This is definitely a highlight for me of my week, just getting to share this. So I appreciate you inviting me here and just the ability to share. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. And I did get a question asking if this recording will be available afterwards, and it absolutely will be. I will make sure to send out the YouTube link to everyone so you can share it with your staff and your teachers in your center. This was amazing information. And with ChildcareCRM, like Hani mentioned, if you're looking to market to your different parent archetypes and follow-up feels like too much, definitely feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help. And make sure to check out Hani's 4-day training as well. And I will be sending out a link to that also.
Awesome. Thank you all so much, and wishing you all a beautiful evening. Thank you, Ciara, again. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. All the best. Thank you.